So, who wants to talk anime? Nope, wait, manga. I leave anime for someone else. Who wants to talk about manga? I definitely do. That's my drawing thin. I like to sketch it. Now, what have I not talked to you guys about yet? Aha. I didn't get around to one of my other things. Show the difference between shoujo manga and shonen. I think some of you anime fans have heard of these two terms, but most of the time you probably end up hearing about shoujo because they're the most popular manga, and there's now magazines that are publishing them now. Here are some titles I've managed to find. You can read that. Like, for example, shoujo manga, usually in Japan. Okay, before we get fully started, I am a fan of anime and manga. I am not going to pretend I know everything, because I definitely do not, and I will probably have someone tell me, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is right. It happens everywhere. I've seen it. And I'm just a little unknown artist that's on Tumblr, Instagram, and Twitter. I mean, I have a Facebook as well. I mean, I just go by Lana Bachman there, so that's my name. Plus my dad's on there, and I swear half his business partners are always trying to befriend me, so I'm staying out of that one. It's like, why are you befriending me? You don't know me. Like, if you're trying to get to my dad, I'm the last person to do that because he doesn't contact me all that often, except maybe through Facebook, which weird. Sorry, I need to drink plenty. Anywho, I'm just giving you what I know about manga, and I want to talk to you about that. But there are two huge magazine-like companies in Japan with two different genres. I know there's a few others. I don't know everything about Japan. But Japan has two genres that are mostly well known. You have two magazine companies. You've got the two I know of that publish, that now that we're getting manga published from them, is Shonen Jump and Shojo Beats Manga. I mean, there are other magazines in Japan that do regular update stories of different manga titles, but two mostly well-known ones at the moment, like for a while, most of the things that we got translated, especially here in Australia, that we got down here, is Shonen Jump-like manga. That's my little bookmark. I've read this already, but I like to reread things, so is like Shojo Jump, like your Hero Academia, One Piece, that volleyball anime, and yeah, I suppose I would say most of the Shonen Jump stuff are a lot of action and adventure sort of stories, or usually the main protagonist is a guy. Like the main character is a guy. So One Piece has a guy, but then they have a few girls in there and stuff too, but basically, shoujo is mostly aimed at young guys, but there are girls who like to read it too, so I wouldn't say it's all, but it is what its main thing when it started. It was aimed at young guys, which, yeah, but I like them. That's my opinion. Whereas shoujo, on the other hand, is aimed at young girls. So half the time, most of the time, the main protagonist is supposedly a girl, females, but sometimes they have, on some occasions like this one and this one, they do have male leads as well, but not always often. Like with shoujo, I'd say it's a bit more feminist, whereas shojin is supposed to be a bit more manly and like a bit more tough, whereas because it's got action and adventure, whereas shoujo is a bit more fantasy and magic, I think. Yeah, fantasy and magic and a bit more fairy tale like sort of, but it can have its tough moments too, but it's a bit more gentler compared to shonen. I might be butchering these words. Excuse me, it's not my main language. I mean, not everyone can do English well. I mean, I screw that up as well, so even though I was born and raised in Australia, English has still got problems for me because, you know, some of the words do not spell how they sound. It's very annoying. And but anyway, we're here to talk manga, and we also have old school manga and anime. I would always recommend, when I say old school, I mean really old school, like Tetsuya Mizaki. I'm going to be introducing that too, but he's the reason a lot of that they got engineers in the first place, I think. But anyway, when you've got Shojo, it is a bit more feminine, slightly feminine, but not in a bad way, I think. I mean, it's because it's just a bit more prettier. Like, you've got Otomen, the main character, I will explain these stories a bit better to you. Like, this went up to 18 volumes, so it's finished. It didn't get an anime. I am so sad. It ended up getting a soap opera, which I think didn't work too well for it because somehow, I don't know, maybe it did, but it got a soap opera instead. And I was like, why didn't you make that an anime? It would have made such a better anime. Please make this an anime, Japan. Anyway, Otomen. It is very pretty. When you've got shoujo, they've got the pretty style. Like, you know, it's like this. And I'm going to try and do a better review in a minute, but you can know the style is a bit more prettier. With a bit more, but it's not like I'm saying it's girly because it does have its action moments. Let's see. Like see here, he's like totally bashing this guy up, yet he's doing it in such a flair that he can switch his hair and like, yep, you see more action parts there, so it's not all that girly, but I mean, it is aimed at women and girls, so women and girls is technically what this series is going for. It's definitely, you've got a whole Prince Charming and so on and stuff can be in there, but they don't go, well, some series go over the top and some don't, but what I like about Otomen is it's sort of twisting it on its head. How do I explain the story? Azuki Maru Zumi? God, why can't I read names? Anywho, is a guy, our main protagonist, who's on the cover, is a guy who loves girly things. Sewing, knitting, making cute stuffed animals, and reading shoujo comics. Hence, shoujo manga. And the magazine company that's doing this is called Shojo Beat, Manga from the Heart. It's so is this one. Shojo Beat doesn't say Manga from the Heart for that one, but I'll explain that one later. We're going about Otomen at the moment and why I'm recommending this manga for both guys and girls, because I think guys will like this too, because it is, I think, Japan's way to try and break some of the horrible stereotypes a lot of people got stuck with, because technically, you know, shoujo is not just boys anymore. There's girls who go for it too. Like, I know there's some girls who are into thank you, that volleyball anime and manga like myself, and not just because they ship things, or because the friendships in there are actually really nice. Sometimes I like to read them because the characters are really good and the friendships they make with each other are really awesome. I do end up shipping a few things, but I don't believe it will happen. Other times I'm just happy that they have a really close relationship, that you can get to that point, but you know it's not going to happen. And it's not a shoujo one. Shoujo will have a few romantic stories in there. And anyway, back to where I was going. Like, Azuka Masum, sorry, is a guy who loves girly things: sewing, knitting, making cute stuffed animals, and reading shoujo comics. But in a world where boys are expected to act manly, Haha. That's like today's world, still stuck like that. Inspector Manley, Azuka must hide his beloved hobbies and play the part of the masculine jock instead. Ro Mazukuka, on the other hand, is a girl who can't sew or bake a cake to save her life. Azuka finds himself drawn to Ryo, but she likes only the manliest of men. Can Azuka ever show his true self to anyone, much less to the girl he's falling for? Yeah, that was the first premise of the first manga, so... Like, he is stuck in a world, like... I'd say this is definitely should have an anime, and it should be... It's well worthy. He's stuck, like... At the moment, like, America seems to suffer this big problem, but I don't know America, so I am biased on what I know about that. But, it is... Like, here we go. Here's him when he was a lot younger. Things that girls like, fluffy, sparkly things. First issue, as you can see. Very pretty. Cooking, sewing, stories of, and he loves these things, but his mother is not exactly... His mother keeps telling him he's a boy, so he's not allowed to like these things. And I'm like going, really? We're going that line? Like, parents, maybe you should all start reading this manga. Because technically, no parent should force their child to be stuck in one gender role just because of whatever heck. I mean, there's things guys and girls like together. Guys should be allowed to like a few feminine things. They should be allowed to cry. I mean, it doesn't stop them from being any less manly if they don't want to be. They can still be manly and still like all these things. Yeah, and he got so... There he is, because he's then had to live his teenage life trying to be boyish, like his mom wants him to be. He studied this... let me have a look again. But this manga challenges a lot of the gender norms, and I'm sad, I'm ashamed that it didn't become an anime, because I would love to see the anime world's take on this, because as it says, he's like... He seemed like he had to be tough, but he was very miserable. I mean, he did become tough, but... And he's like, all of a sudden he falls in love, and all the things that he liked that was girly start popping back in his life. I thought that was amazing. And he's like, what the heck am I doing? Like, he thinks to this girl, and he ends up getting all... But he can't help himself. He likes these things. It's like when you become an adult and people tell you should give up on cartoons and manga and, you know, and all that stuff. You just can't do it. I mean, you try to be a mature adult among all the other adults, and you just can't do it. Like, I mean, there is a limit. I mean, you can't, you know. But anyway, this series is definitely worth a look-see. Back his feelings. And he's like, oh no, he's really good at it too. I'm like going, that's talent right there. Why would you stop him from being able to make these things? He's so good at it. Like, I don't know about most people, but I wouldn't mind dating a guy that's a little girly. I mean, heck, I wouldn't mind dating a girl that's a little butch. Like, heck, I wouldn't mind dating someone who's trans, because I can't explain that one either. I'm no experimental transgender and all that stuff, but I support these people, and it's like, I don't think this manga covers that, but this is more like, more a guy being allowed to like a few girlish, getting more in touch with his feminine side. I think guys should get a little in touch with that. Like, my gosh, hard. It's such a good series. Anyway, first one. The second one, as I said, I started getting into manga and anime in my teen years, I suppose. My parents didn't, we didn't get cable until like my really late teen years, and I didn't even get my first mobile until like I was in my very late teens, so, oh man, times have changed. Like every toddler now has their own phone. Like, what the heck? Who gives toddlers phones? The second one, if I'll explain this series, and I would recommend you have a look into it, Zoom asks, why can't I say his name? Anyway, Persis. That's the girl he likes. We can't cook for the life of her, but she's a badass girl and I love her. It's like, here it is. Well, in front, that's the first one. When I got this series, it was being printed by 2 different companies, so I would grab whatever the manga I could get of it. So I will show you in a minute. It's it looks like it's been printed. I forget which company was printing this one. I haven't seen them again, but I got like this one. I think is stuck around, but the one that is for the other one. In this version, this second issue, I would recommend getting all 18 copies. It's a good wild ride to read. It's definitely, I don't know if it's changed the world sort of thing, but it's got some pretty good moral things in there, saying it's okay for guys to like girly things, and it's okay for a girl to like guyish things. To be a little tough, it should be that guys should be allowed to like girly things. So anyway, okay, our main character again is Umi, or how I can't say his name. Our main character again. He loves girly things, as it said. Stuffed animals, reading Shojo manga, sewing, knitting, making cute stuffed animals, da-da-da-da. But in a world where boys are expected to act manly, Azuka must hide his beloved hobbies and play the part of a masculine jock instead. But can Azuka ever show his true self to anyone, much less to Ryuki, the girl that he's falling for? And his mother shows up with a surprise announcement. It's time for him to meet his mates. What kind of girl does she have in mind for him? And how will I respond to the match? Ooh. Oh gosh. Yeah, that was bad. Forget Japanese sometimes. Cute things. I love this series because, you know, it challenges the norm. But as I said, there was another company that was printing this way back. I don't think I see that version anymore. I don't even know if this book's still going in print anymore, but it was a good series. I recommended it to anyone if you can ever grab any of the translated copies. You can see this is a different cover. It was translated by the CY mangaka. Shinyang, I'm not sure that company. I'll have to look to see if they've done any other mangas, but I think I picked this up in Kinakona, or was it King's Comics? King's Comics or Kinakona are best places to go for manga, apparently. Well, I don't know about King's Comics in Sydney at the moment, because they've been stuck having to move around recently, so I'll have to wait and see what that holds. Anywho, alright, let me see. Where's the story? The weekend is here. For the third inaction of the book. The weekend is here, and Asa is roped in by Rad to help out at the daycare center. But how does one maintain the image of a stable father figure for a horde of children and their cute, fluffy, sparky world? In school, in school, female fathers suspect that he has found, gasp, the one, and turn for help, who then decide to trail him all the way home. Life about to be blown wide open. Oh, yeah, he's had to be in secret, but it's a good series. I mean, it's interesting to read because, like, I mean, there's probably real guys out there who really do like girly things, and they have to suffer. They've had to suffer. I mean, especially in Japan, where they can't be allowed to be girly. I guess I don't know, but this was a good series that turned that on its head, so I'd recommend it. Those are the two companies, but I'd suggest trying to go by Shojo Beat because they're still printing. So if they still have any copies anywhere, best to go with them. Another shoujo manga series I highly recommend and I love is Natsumi's Book of Friends. And you can see here, it's another one that has a male protagonist, whereas most usually have a female lead. This is another one that actually has a male lead, but this is no romance in there, last I checked. Tsushi Nazum can see the spirits and demons that hide from the rest of humanity. He has always been set apart from other people because of his gift. Drifting from relative to relative, never fitting in. Now he's in trouble. He's a troubled high school student who has come to live in the small town where his grandmother grew up. And there he has discovered that he has inherited more than just the sight from the mysterious Rikisko. Did I read that right? When Rikiso was Tashiki's age, she bound the names of demons and spirits in her book of friends, and saving them to her capricious. Well, I mean, here's the back of the book, if you can read any of that. Anyway, here's the whim. Now she is the owner of the book, and the creatures will do anything to get their names back. So basically, he's got to give back the names to some of these things, I guess, or he has to deal with it. But it's a very good series. Like, I mean, look at that artwork. It's a lovely, lovely artwork. It's definitely more of a prettiness to it, like a fairy tale. Definitely more fairy tale stories. Or pretty stories. Like, the artwork is always very pretty. If you want something with pretty and lovely stories. Though I mind you, some shoujos, I don't know, I guess, I don't know how the Shojo Beat magazine goes that publishes these. I'll have to look into this, but this is one of their more popular ones, and so was Automan, that became a drama, whereas this one got an anime. I have not seen the anime come down to Australia yet. I'm kind of bummed about that because I want to see the anime. I've only seen snippets of it online. So, let me see. Yes, I love this art style. It's like it's a nice little simple art style for a manga. Highly recommend. And then we got the second one. It's got butterflies. Isn't that pretty? Like, totally. Yep, it's definitely a shoujo manga. The style screams shoujo. It's all, well, let's see. They can even recommend, they have a journey to the heart. They can recommend a few other series. Okay, Blackbird. That was another shoujo manga apparently done by this company with magazine. I do not. The Fujiyuji would definitely land under shoujo, which is, I'm not surprised. The art style is very feminine-like. But yeah, it is a very pretty style, and I love it. Show me one of my more favorite, but it does get on to being a little dark in places. But look at this detail. Look at that dedication of detail. Perfect. So these are what you would consider under shoujo. But there's a lot of romance stories in there too, because apparently people seem to think all girls want to read romance stories. Women are supposed to want to read some, but sometimes we don't want to. Okay, let me see. I love the creatures in this. I love some of the artwork. That is so pretty. Look at that. No wonder it got an anime. It is so worth checking out. And it's not demon slayers like Shonen's doing. But yeah, this is a good series. I would recommend. It's up to 22 volumes though. It's not short. Whereas Automoon's a bit more shorter. And now we're going into Shojin. Not Shojin, which is the other magazine company. It's the two big ones that I know of, which is Shonen Jump, which is more action adventure, I guess, kind of stories. Though they did aim it at boys. As I've gone over this a few times with My Hero Academia, is one of my favorites. How do I explain this story to you? Alrighty, in a world... here's one way I can explain this series to you and recommend you... Oh, they may look like there's an advertisement on the back here. In what we're... Though being as it's based on superheroes, it's going to be tropey as heck, because superhero stories usually are. Like, I mean, even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are definitely tropey. I mean, if you don't like tropey, I suppose stick away from manga and anime then, because a lot of them do have a tropiness to them, so why are you into them if you don't like tropes? I mean, sometimes they don't have too much, but it depends. Okay, let's see. In a what world would be... Start this again. What would the world be like if 80% of the population manifested superpowers called quirks? Heroes and villains would be battling it out everywhere. Being a hero would mean learning to use your power, but where would you go to study? The Hero Academy, of course. What would you do if you were one of the 20% who were born quirkless? Middle school student Zuku Midoriya wants to be a hero more than anything, but he hasn't got an ounce of power in him. With no chance of ever getting into the prestigious UA high school for budding heroes, his life is looking more and more like a dead end. Then, an encounter with All Might, the greatest hero of them all, gives him a chance to change his destiny. It's a good series. I highly recommend. But that's basically the story synopsis for you. And like here's the second book. I recommend reading the manga series and checking out the anime, but it's basically what the story is about. The simplest version I can tell you. I can also recommend you One Piece, because it's a story about pirates. And it's got a lot of things in that manga, like One Piece has... Let me think. I'm going to show One Piece. One Piece has transforming reindeer. Or a deer, who is also a doctor. One Piece has a cyborg. It has this walking, living skeleton man. It has a couple of ladies who kick ass and are very smart. Like one thief lady who's smart, and what else? They had mermaids at one point. They had dragons. What else? What hasn't this anime got? That anime and manga, I would recommend One Piece, because I'm going to keep going on about One Piece to you guys until I see Robin from Anime America try to review it. And I wish her luck if she ever does get around to reviewing it, because it is a long series, and I don't know how she managed to... Well, I mean, if she wants to watch it, she can always come over to my place, then she don't have to go buying it, but then I have a feeling when she does start liking it, she's going to want to buy it, so... But she might not like it. I mean, I can't guarantee everybody likes everything. Now, some really old school anime and manga. I recommend the old manga. I've already pointed out Dororo so many times, but maybe I should explain the first one. The story. It's not a very long series. It's been translated. There might be more. Why is this so much out of my language? Goodness. Okay. It is only 3 mangas long. If you do get around to seeing the translated versions, kinakona does hold some issues with some of the old school manga done by the famous Ozumu Tezuka. Really worth checking his stuff out. The story is actually, even to this day, I can still sit there and read that. I mean, heck, my mom could even get into reading that. And she's fussy as heck about when she likes certain anime and manga. Like, she doesn't like anything too gory, usually. She only likes them when they have a good story and good artwork. So, trying to get her into anime and manga has not been an easy road. I mean, I don't even know if I can get her into My Hero Academia, because it's my mom for you. But anyway, I will tell you. I will read you the first synopsis of the first book. I don't know what the anime is like. I have not had a chance to see it. but this is what it's based on. So I would recommend, if you've seen the anime, you might want to have a look and see what its old manga roots were like, because they probably had to change a few things because the manga ended somewhere in the 50s and 60s. So it's an old manga. It's definitely what you would call an old school manga. Let's see. Ah, yes. Oh, so it's a shonen manga. That explains so much. This is his shonen one. I do not know if his other one... Like, with these old school mangas, they either have them like this, or in some cases, they have them in this book cover like this. Though I couldn't find any more in this style when I first started getting into this series, because half of mine are like this now. With the Blackjack series, I will talk about that in a minute. But first, we are going to go over Dodoro, which has a manga today. Let me see. Let's see. Let me see. Where the heck is this synopsis explanation for this? Ah, yes. Dodoro by Unsera is a young swordsman's hunt for the demons who stole his body parts. It is about who stole his body parts and the tale of his little thieving friend that he meets up. So he basically has to fight a whole lot of demons to get parts of his body part back. Or we can start off, like I'm going to show you. Manga, this... I mean, I've read this a few times, but I know you guys have not, so I will show you some pages. Hopefully, there's a little bit more about him in the back. So you can see that. See, this is what Dodoro looked like before he had an anime adaptation redone years later. There was probably other anime adaptations, and there's his little friend. There's Dodoro. Well, he's not the main character. Oh, man, that's Dodoro is the little friend then, isn't it? It's named after the little friend then. Okay, his name. Where is it? Ah, yes, his actual name. The guy who has to fight all the demons to get his body parts back. That is his name. I am not saying it because I somehow butcher this word. So, Yaiko Maru. I'm sorry. I like this character and I butcher his name. I told you I was not good at names. Let's see. We'll start off a little bit about his backstory. Well, introductions. Where are the introductions? Come on, introductions. Let me see. Inception. The inception. About how he ended up being this way. He's one of our main characters. The book of is not named after him. It's named after his little thief friend. Interesting enough. Lord Dango. Dago? Dago? I have been waiting for you. Okay. Can you see that? Look at that detail. Man, that would not have been easy to do. Jeez, look at that. That is so much dedication in his work. It is brilliant. Next page we go. More pages. Let's see here. Oh gosh, look at that. It is so brilliant. We're only doing the beginning. I cannot tell you everything of this book, otherwise you won't pick it up and read it yourself. Let's see. Splendid, dear priest. It's this guy's long Dango, okay. It is said there, Yuki's son's Uchi's creations, but they are no inscriptions. There are no inscriptions. It's as if they're possessed by evil spirits. They say the sculpturer went mad after creating these 48 demon figures. Indulging. Ah, yes, that's what we're talking about here, is these demon figures. Look at them. Creepy as heck. Creepy. That is just creepy. Ooh, very creepy. Woo. Creepy as all heck. Actually done well. For its time, this is done well. I mean, look at the detail. I mean, look. I'm an artist point of view, and I'm a bit of an artist. I mean, not a well-known one. I just do this on the side when I'm not working at the hospital, in the kitchen. Ugh. I need to do something to get my mind off a hospital, so I have manga and I draw, and I sometimes play Pokemon on the Switch, and sometimes DSs and stuff, so if I... Ooh. We're all waiting for an Animal Crossing game coming up soon, right? Right? Yeah? You all excited? I know I am. I'm gonna be happy to play that game. It sounded interesting. I mean, I got my mom to play it a little while for me, but... with the, when it was on... Anyway, okay, we're on back to here. I got distracted. Anyway, yeah, it says the sculptor who made these went mad. Dear priest, intend to... Let's see. There are no inscriptions. Say, indulging. So our character here. Right. Dear priest, I intend to spend the night in this hole of hell looking at these devils. You may retire and leave me be. Alone? In the hole of hell? Who would want to be in the room in the hole of hell? I mean, look at these things. They're creepy. Why would I want to stay in there? I wouldn't. It's creepy as all heck. The things are watching you. It's like sitting in a room with all those... In one of those rooms that someone's collected all those dolls, and they have like those dead-eyed stares, and you're like sitting there going... Okay, this is creepy. I'm out of here. Indeed, I need to be alone with my thoughts. You keep out till the morrow. Very well. Good night, Lord Dango. Dango. How do you say this guy's name? That's why I can't wait for the anime to get here, so then they can teach me how to say it, or I can hear how it's said, and then maybe try to imitate what I hear, but then that's probably not the right way to learn either. Okay, here he is. Wow, there's like a 2-page spread there. And there he's sitting right down there. Can you see that? Right down there. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. 48 devil gods, demons, hear me and grant me my wish. I want to rule this land, this entire country. Lend me your strength, and you'll have whatever you want. Name your price. Is it money? A sacrifice? A baby mouse. Are you saying you want my child? Done. You'll have my child due to be born the day after tomorrow. You each take a desired part of my child, its eyes, ears, mouth, and hands. Take 48 parts. How's that? Dude should not be a father. Dude should not be a father, man. This man does not deserve to be a parent. This does not deserve to be a parent at all. The poor mother of the child didn't even get a discussion. His poor wife. She's going to have her first child sacrificed. After all that heck she's gone to bring him into the world. That poor woman. I mean, how could she found out what the husband did. I bet she would divorce him right there on spot. I would. Who would want to be married to a person like that? Actually, I would take his wife away and I would marry her. And he doesn't have to. She doesn't have to. There's any more of her kids being given up. Poor kids. Guy does not deserve to be a father. Okay, so here. Wow, those things are they're making faces and laughing. That is creepy, dude. I wonder how the anime pulled that off. Well, answer me. Give me a sign. Ah! Whoosh. Lightning down on you. Ah! Bam! I say he deserves that for what he just offered. And then he's out. Oh, he got a cross on his head. Did the anime put that in? Hey, look at that. They struck him down with lightning to give him his powers. Interesting. Yes, a cross cut into my forehead? Great, a sign from the devils. So this is mine. That was the deal. Who's there? Stop. Wait, I came to see why the hall's doors were flung open. Priest, you heard what I said? I saw nothing and know nothing. No, you heard, and now you must die. Damn, straight into the first part of this. He's got witness. He's getting rid of the witness. You see this now. Dang. Oh, he's killing the poor old guy priest. That poor guy. I mean, we want to be priest of that temple, though. Yep, he's killed him. Nothing personal, dear priest. Drag. Demons, accept my first offering. Oh, yeah, this guy does not have any qualms. Not any qualms at all. Sad, man. Yep. And the demons struck down with lightning. And wow, look at that detail. Look at that amazing detail. Here's a few days later. The bird's flying head. I think that's like a symbol of warning there. You can see that. Detail is so well done. Why so scared? Oh, those must have been the midwives. Did you see the midwives? Look, there's some midwives running for their lives. I wonder why they're running. Yeah, I wonder why they're running too. My lord, it is born? Who says that? Another page. If you need me to read some of that, I will. Because I don't know if it shows up so well with my phone camera there. Like, Lord is born. Let me see. Jolt. My lord? They kept their word. Ah! Rejoice, this land will be mine. I'll see to it. Ah! Oh, my lord, his poor kid. He's having a mental breakdown. He apparently is having a mental breakdown there. Look at this bastard. This bastard does not deserve to be a parent. He's having a mental breakdown. His poor wife's going, what the hell just happened? Yeah, you married a weirdo, dude. Let's see. What are you glaring at? You think it's wrong of me to laugh? Get rid of him. He stands in the way of my destiny. Get rid of him? This is your child. You are his father. So it was until 3 days ago. But now he's a shell of a human being. His humanity sucked by the devils. No, I won't get rid of him. You're the demon whose soul was taken by the devils. He won't survive even if he did. He wouldn't be able to speak, hear, see, or use his hands. Get rid of him now and you'll soon forget him. Oh, that's his word. Oh, that was her going. No, I won't. It's yours even taken by the devils. And he's like going, he won't survive even if he did. He wouldn't be able to speak, see, hear, or use his hands. Get rid of him now and you'll soon forget him. That poor kid. There it is. It's his fault the kid's in the state he's in. There it is. His poor mother. Forgive me, my child. If the fates are with you, grow strong. My child. Don't. Stay back. My child. She didn't want to give him up. Frick. Those times were hard. I mean, there was probably a lot of children dumped like that. I mean, if you didn't want the kid, you shouldn't have had it in the first place. In other words, abortion is a thing. I'm pro-choice. I don't believe you should force a mother to have a child if she doesn't want to have the child. But, you know, and there's sometimes cases when the mother wants the child, but then the child is stillborn. And then they have to do an abortion because the child's not going to make it through the birth. The mother's going to end up getting sick. There's a lot of reasons things you know, I don't know enough about it, but I'm pro-life. I mean, I'm not pro-life. I am so not pro-life. Life is important, but I'm not pro-life if it means someone else has to die just so someone else can live. It's not a good philosophy. It's like, can't both, you know, it's not a, like, if you're ruining someone's life, that's what I don't like, the whole idea of ruining someone's life for things just so someone can live. It's not. And half the time when you force someone to have a kid, the kid is the one who ends up suffering the worst in the end. And they don't take care of these kids, like all these unwanted children. They get stuck in foster homes. There's no one who's magically going to be there to adopt the kids and stuff. Like, you'd say, oh, but there's so many people waiting. Yes, but there's so many people who take advantage of the system as well. That's why it's so rigid. Who know how to go through all the loopholes and then hurt these kids even worse. And some of those people who even forced to have these kids then don't have the funds to take care of them and everything. So life is important, but that's probably why you shouldn't force people to have kids if they don't want them. There maybe is a good reason, like maybe they have illness in the family and they cannot take care of someone else who is ill, or, you know, or their body simply just can't handle having a kid. I mean, seriously, there's so many reasons. And anyway, last page. That's got nothing to do with the story. Okay. That is Dororo for you. Like, life is important. We should treasure it, but not in the way some pro-lifers do, because they don't seem to really care. They just seem to care about conception and a fetus who's not even a human being yet until a certain month. Like, and then they don't understand a lot of things. Like, they don't understand how any of the medical world works. Like, there's still a lot of things they don't even understand about women's health and stuff, which is, like, a true man would not force a lady to have kids if he realizes it was going to put her under huge mental strain. Birth does that. It will not only wreck the body, it will wreck the mind, because a whole lot of things your body goes through a lot of different changes, and a lot of half of it is really taxing. There's still women who die today from childbirth. Not even just from even having a baby in the beginning. If they're not, you know, cared for the whole way. If you're going to force these people to have babies just so you can adopt them out to someone, like there's some, I mean, we say it's not fair they do this to animals, like pet farms. You know, you heard of them, where they force the poor dogs to breed out puppies constantly. That's basically what they're making these women sound like. These pro-lifers sound like these people who do this thing with puppies. They say, well, it's just animals. It's still life, man. You're forcing these poor dogs, and you're forcing women to be like these poor dogs, and that's not fair. Neither of these two should be forced to have kids if they don't want to. Their dogs, I mean, don't have that much. They're not treated very fairly. So, like, if you're going to get a pet, I would suggest going to the RSPCA or maybe an animal shelter and saving some animals. And maybe not even just going for puppies. Maybe going for a dog that could use. It's a friendly older dog that's probably got well trained, and you can train it and stuff. Or, you know, you go for a cat or something like that. But I would make sure you avoid these puppy farms and these cat farms. It's like there's some animals that are forced through some horrendous things, and I would not recommend getting a pet from there. I would rather get a rescue pet, because then at least, you know, you were keeping, like from the RSPCA, they will help you sex and put microchipping for your pet so you don't lose them. I would recommend that. Sorry, didn't want to put my views on you guys. You can ignore that if you want, but I do not believe forcing people to do things they don't want to do is justified. Even if you say you're saving life, you're forcing someone, which is going to cause them a lot of harm in the process. I wouldn't recommend doing that. It's not nice to do things, because if you give out stuff like that to people, it's going to come back to you, and you're not going to like how, you won't know how it will be, it will come back to you. Doing Like, sometimes accidents happen, but there's sometimes, if you keep on, it will all build up. Like, how far it will build up, you never know. Because if you keep mistreating animals and people and life, it will come back, and it will come back to bite you in such ways you never knew. It's like, there's so many stories about this, you kind of wonder where they get the ideas from. Anywho, let's talk about Blackjack. I'm sorry, I went sidetrack. Blackjack. He's also from the creator of Astro Boy and Daughter over there. It's another one of his works, and I love his Blackjack stories. It was one of my first favorites. It is such an interesting character because I can see was studying to be the creator of Astro Boy actually was studying to be a doctor at some point. So I think there was a time when they had to learn to draw things really well. I could totally tell that he really studied all the finer details, and it pops up in his Blackjack series because there is a lot of things like, look at that amount of detail, but that's not the detail I want to show you. If it gets a little gory, I warn you. Let me see. We got the first introduction of Blackjack. Oh, here he is. I like him. He is not pretty boy by normal standards. He's got a scar and some white hair from stress, but not the kind of stress you can think of, because he's been through heck. Yep. Like, here we go. Let's see. Yes. My first introduction to Blackjack, manga-wise. This is... yeah, I would like to show that off. Yep. And I'm so in love with this series. I will explain a bit more about the story in a minute, but Blackjack's character. Alrighty, here we are. Some more on Blackjack. It's the first chapter. I'm only doing one because I really want you guys all to read about Blackjack, because he is one of the most interesting characters I've come across in manga. And I haven't seen one like him, exactly like him ever again, character-wise, because he is an interesting character. He's like, I don't know what I put him under, because he is interesting. Like, here he is again. I love his character design. I love his story. It's just interesting. It's not the issue. Here we go. Okay, like this. It's like, it's just so interesting, the storylines. His Blackjack stories were definitely my favorites. Well, that's only a little bit of the chapter I'm going to show you. I want to read more about him. He's an interesting character, man. I like Blackjack. I would totally recommend him. His series was awesome. They cover up certain things. So many doctor's records and like, oh boy. How do I put this? It's going to be a little bit gory here, but you can tell that he studied medicine before he wrote about any of it. Because he actually was studying to be a doctor at one point, I think, but I can't remember the full-on details. I have to get back one of his other books about him. Explains in one of that. Totally see it in here. What I love about some of these books is they do this thing. They tell you you're reading it the wrong way because it reads Japan, books from Japan. I'm thinking same with Korea and China. Sometimes they read from this end of the. They don't read from this end of the book. They read from this way to the other way. So if you're reading normal books, normally books read this way for us in the West, but in the East, like in Japan, I don't say it's everywhere, but in Japan, and I think some Korean and Chinese manga. I really need to get this one manga that's from China I've been trying to get. Anyway, they read from this way, so you got to start from this end of the book. That's the front. I mean, look at this detail. Look at this fine out detail. It is so brilliant. I could go on. I mean, I still will probably go on. I just love Blackjack. It's so awesome. I really would like to get more people to talk about it again. I love this series from my teenage years. But I need to tell you about the story, because this is basically what I'm... Okay, so the back of this book, these books explain, from the creator of Astro Boy and Kimba comes the Ian Crocker work that has been the god of manga's most popular series among adult readers in Japan. I wouldn't put this for kiddies, so this is more of an adult-like in Japan. And most anticipated stateside release in recent years, Blackjack chronicles the travels... The Blackjack chronicles the travels of an enigmatic surgeon for hire who is more god than he pretends to be. He's more good than he pretends to be. Why did I read God? I am sorry. He is more good than he pretends to be. This special hardcover edition contains the additional story not found in the paperback edition. Really? Because I saw some of that in the paperback edition. Oh well, anyway. This is like the hardcover one. I have two versions of the hardcover, whereas the rest are like soft cover. For those of you who don't read enough manga and comics too often, and you don't understand when they say soft cover to hardcover with books, hardcover is when the book cover is this, hard. As a hardcover, it keeps it a bit more safe. Not many mangas do that. Most mangas do a soft cover like this one. So this is soft cover. It's not a... Can't hear it tap back at me like this one. Whereas this is soft cover. I mean, for those of you who don't know, I suppose most people who read books should know this already, but those of you who have not read a single book in your life, or don't really go around reading books that much, who don't understand what hardcover and softcover means, this is what it means when they say hardcover. It's a hardcover case, hardcover book. I should have collected the rest of the series like this, but I was too bad wanting to read all the series as much as I can get my hands on. I've only got 17 copies. I'm hoping there's more somewhere because I really love this series. I hope they translate more because I would love to get my hands on copy 8 or 19 or 18. I have at least up to 17 volumes of the series. As you can see, these hardcover ones, because these are the recently retranslated. I think you can still find some of them in kinakona in Australia. The people who are translating these ones now at the moment, this translation is preview exclusive. Diamond Comics preview exclusive edition. Yeah, there's the one who are translating some of these versions because he is worth a read though. I mean, he's definitely, I would not recommend it for kiddies because as you can probably see, like, they go, because this is about a surgeon, there will be parts where they open a person up just to fix up the issues. Like you'll probably see guts and brains and lots of blood. So this is definitely for older readers. It's definitely not for little kiddies. Nope, no little kiddies should be reading this one. Though, as I probably once told you before, a friend of mine ended up getting this series. And I'm like, oh boy, oh boy. Who let a little kid read this? Oh my goodness. Let's see, I might do a fan art here and then I'll show you. I will be drawing and talking about manga then. I love this series. I swear, young teen me was so happy to find a manga series. I think I used to study a lot of my drawing styles, so a lot of it's cartoonish, but it's got the old anime manga style. Well, I used it to study a lot. I used a lot of manga for that reason. I mean, nobody starts out perfect, but I used to love reading these things, and then I would do fan arts and stuff, and probably some of them might be still on my Instagram. My old Tumblr died. I left for dead because, how do I put this with my old Tumblr? Tumblr went through a whole purge lately. Can't even tell the difference between what is actually graphic, because I don't like drawing blood or guts or anything, because I can't stand that stuff normally, but I like Invader Zim and I like Blackjack and stuff, but I don't draw gore. I can't draw gore to save my life. But anyway, highly recommend this series. Ah, Murray. What the heck? Give me a minute. Anyway, thanks for watching.